Our tale of tape is brought to you by Bravago Bold Seltzer. Simeon Powell is only 23 years of age. Joao Paulo Fagundes is 30. 6'5" height for Simeon Powell makes him 2 inches taller than his opponent, but a 9-inch reach advantage for the Brits on the arms and 5 inches on the legs. Andy Shepard, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main card as the PFL Smart Cage makes its debut here in London. The following is a light heavyweight showcase contest. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's a striking specialist and stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 204 pounds. He enters the PFL Smart Cage with an undefeated record of 7 wins and no defeats. Fighting out of Natal, Brazil, King Joao Paulo Fagundes. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he is a striking specialist. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighed in officially at 205 pounds. He also holds a perfect record consisting of 6 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of London, England, Smooth Simeon Powell. Your referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard will oversee the action in this light heavyweight showcase bout. Simeon Powell is in the yellow trunks. Joao Paulo Fagundes is in the gray. England versus Brazil in our first main card fight here at Copper Box Arena. Sean O'Connell, Kenny Florian, Randy Couture beside the PFL Smart Cage. A jab from Simeon Powell and he evades the return fire. Two undefeated fighters squaring off in front of us right now, Randy. Having that O on the record, more pressure or less for these individuals? Because there's wiggle room if you've only had, well, if you had 0 losses.
Well, you know, it's really up to the mindset of the individual on that. Some guys want to covet that and stay undefeated. Some guys don't worry too much about the wins and losses. It's more about their progression as an athlete as they move through their career.
Simeon Powell has landed 2 very heavy calf kicks to that left leg of Fagundes.
Fagundes stalking Simeon Powell down. Powell doing a good job of feeling that presence in the cage, not letting him get his back pushed all the way up against the barrier. Good jab, right-handed return from Joao Paulo Fagundes. Big left. Simeon Powell's going to have to watch out for all of these powerful strikes. Lands a precise jab of his own, though. Chris Wade getting warm backstage, part of the co-main event. Featherweight semifinal against Brendan Loughnane. Simeon Powell and Joao Paulo Fagundes going back and forth, and there's a third of those huge calf kicks.
Oh, those are very heavy. You see Fagundes definitely feeling those. He's stepping a little bit heavier on that lead leg now. That's going to be very difficult for him as he tries to pursue and cut off the cage against a very talented and young Simeon Powell.
I like Powell's lateral motion, keeping out of that distance, using that jousting jab.
Yeah, looking very sharp. Beautiful flick jab there to keep Fagundes on the outside. You have to watch out for Fagundes, though. He'll pursue, not throw, and then he blitzes just like that.
Double underhooks here for Simeon Powell, who's able to turn Fagundes into the cage. High underhooks. Difficult for Joao Paulo Fagundes to counter. See what Simeon Powell can do with it.
This is where you got to watch out for those knees from Simeon Powell. Curious to see if Simeon Powell starts to go to a Thai-style clinch instead of this double unders.
Yeah, I like the double unders if your intention is to trip the guy or catch the guy and take him to the mat.
Right.
But I don't think that's Simeon Powell's goal here.
Exactly, yeah. I believe Fagundes is going to have the advantage if this fight hits the ground. Perhaps Simeon Powell has other plans.
Fagundes tries a knee up the middle.
Powell does a good job of repummeling, getting back to double under position.
So he's established that he can get to this point, but what do you do with it? He lets go of the double unders. A couple punches to the body of Joao Paulo Fagundes. Good head position by Simeon Powell. In control for now. 90 seconds remain in the first round.
Surprised Simeon hasn't used more knees from this position. Now he's attacking the body with punches and breaks away.
Back to the center of the smart cage. Simeon Powell continues to work behind his long jab.
Excellent lateral footwork there by Simeon Powell, and turns back to the center of the cage.
High kick partially blocked by Fagundes, who now swings away. But Simeon Powell keeping him out at the end of the punches. That time it landed for Fagundes.
This is the kind of fight that Fagundes wants. He has a tremendous chin. We've seen him battle back in other fights. Fagundes loves this style of fight.
Goading Simeon Powell into some offense, and there's a takedown from the Brit.
Simeon Powell trying to show a new wrinkle to his game here, Sean.
One thing that's impressed me about Simeon Powell, from what we've seen so far, going back to his bout we called on the Challenger Series, he's relatively disciplined for especially a young fighter.
Yes.
Clinton Williams tried to get him into a brawl. Fagundes just tried to get him into a brawl, and he stayed long, stayed smart, and he finds himself in top position because of it.
Yep, Fagundes almost hit that John Wayne sweep there. Powell now postures up.
Final few seconds of the first round. Simeon Powell sends a right hand down.
Big hammer fist.
Mark Goddard stops it. Want to be clear, Mark Goddard stepped in to stop the action, not because he was waving the fight off, but because the round was over. I said Mark Goddard stopped it.
Yes.
Not a stoppage, just the end of the round.
Well, here it is, some nice exchanges here. Fagundes bringing that pressure, trying to land those shots, those blitzing attacks is where Simeon Powell really has to be careful, but his lateral movement was on point, his countering was on point, and that long kick was on point. We also can't forget about those calf kicks to that lead leg of Fagundes taking effect as well.
Some nice shoulder rolls by Powell there to stave off some of those blows.
Now he's got a composure that's far beyond his years, only 23 years old. And Fagundes can fight.
As is evidenced by his undefeated pro mixed martial arts record, Simeon Powell in the yellow trunks, Joao Paulo Fagundes in the gray. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, and Kenny Florian cage side for this light heavyweight showcase bout.
Nice second effort by Simeon Powell. He missed on the first attempt, level change again, right back on those hips, and gets the takedown.
That's going to be scary if he continues to work on his grappling skills. This is great experience for someone like Simeon.
You can cover your mouth, it's not no else.
British MMA icon Dan Hardy has joined us for this episode of PFL playoff action. Dan, what are you seeing?
Well, from the very first opening bell, Fagundes was looking for that right hand over the top of Simeon Powell's jab, but Simeon landed a key calf kick, which really has taken away a lot of the stability. If you watch the lead leg of Fagundes, you'll see the knee buckling a little bit. That's because that calf has been damaged, which means now he can't plant his weight on that lead leg to throw the right hand, and there it is one more time.
He's
As if on
Dan.
cue, Dan Hardy, and Joao Paulo Fagundes switched stances there for a second. His lead leg is in serious. And there's another.
He's gonna finish down.
That's going to be the end of the fight if Simeon Powell does not want to engage on the ground. Joao Paulo Fagundes can't use that lead leg.
Yeah, he's trying to wake up that lead leg. My goodness.
Excellent work here from Simeon Powell. My God,
Wow.
waves it. An official result as Simeon Powell stands alone in the smart cage. Andy?
Your referee, Mark Goddard, calls an end to this contest on 1 minute and 56 seconds of round number 2. Declaring your winner via TKO, Smooth Simeon Powell.
Thank you. All right, I'm here with the winner, Smooth Simeon Powell. The local boy makes good in Copper Box Arena. For those who don't know, Simeon fought earlier this year in the PFL Challenger Series to earn this opportunity. That was in Orlando, Florida. Is this what you foresaw when you won that fight, that you could get a moment like this?
Yeah, man, just fighting back home with all the support is crazy, and
you displayed a little bit of everything in this fight, a couple of takedowns, but Kenny Florian identified it early. It was the calf kicks that really changed this fight. Did you scout that out from him on film?
yeah, so I landed 2 or 3 in the first round, and then my coach pointed out to me, we saw it was marked up, and then the second round we just went for it.
Precision and timing on those was absolutely perfect. You remain undefeated. So now the question is, what's next? Do you want to fight on the championship card coming up later? Do you think you've done enough to earn a spot in the PFL global season and chase that $1 million championship?
Hey, they know. The fans will tell you I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to put on the show. Trust me. Trust me. Let's go.
Still undefeated, Smooth Simeon Powell.